Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be setting up our horizontal planners for the next week in April. And I've got these mild liners here ready to go, as well as these washi tapes I may use. These Cocoa Daisy sticker sheets I got last year, and these sticker books which I'll pull from. And this is the third week of the April Plannable Challenge, and this week's theme is pattern play. So if you'd like to participate, go ahead and post your spreads up on Instagram using the hashtag PlannableApril2022. We'd love to see what you come up with. Okay, let's go ahead and start with some wax paper so I can figure this thing out. I am pulling out my stash of Cocoa Daisy stickers, some from last year. I think there's a few from earlier in this year as well, from January and February. And I just pulled a few patterned boxes from my sticker stash. I'm not exactly sure which set they came out of. I've kind of lost track of which one was which. But these ones might have been the newer one that came out back in February or the previous February. So anyway, just some pattern boxes that I thought would be cute for the spread. And I got this idea to do triangles with the boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and first cut them into squares and then cut those squares as an X. That will make 4 even triangles to use. So first I was just going to have triangles kind of maybe like thrown about in a haphazard way. And then I got an idea to maybe do these pinwheels, putting them kind of point to point there in a circular fashion. And I thought that would be super cute with the pattern play theme. You know, we've got these patterns there, and I thought pinwheels kind of remind me of childhood and playing. And I thought, well, that's a perfect match. And the colors that I pulled to are very springy, so I thought, okay, let's make this work. So that's about as far as I got before I started the spread, as far as the idea for how this was going to go. I will say that this video takes me a while, a long while, longer than my normal, just because I had a lot of things to figure out as I was going along. It's a good journey though. It's not one of my indecisive journeys. It's one where I'm just making things happen, but it just takes a little bit. So if you like those kind of videos, stay tuned for that. I also just cut up some wood wall washi I got from Daiso. Both of the washis I have today are from Daiso. I got the cloud washi as well from there. Daiso is a Japanese dollar store, and I really love them for washi options, as well as some fun stationery things that you may not see in a regular stationery store, since it's like more Japanese style stationery. Anywho, I went ahead and cut up that wall washi to make small slits so they could be pinwheels on maybe like little wooden dowels or something like that. I thought that would come across pretty well. So I did that, and now I am using some of the strips that I have in those same patterns, all from Cocoa Daisy's sticker sheets, and I'm trying to figure out how I might spread that pattern feel around the spread in different places. I had an extra thick version there for the blue, so I cut that down so it's about the same size as the other two I have. And I think that'll work and give us some nice, balance of color and pattern around the spread. Now I'm in the pressed floral sticker book. In here, I had gotten some ideas to use maybe the florals in here as well at the bottom, and then perhaps even the boxes. But I went back and forth on that and decided that I was going to go ahead and use the boxes that I thought I might use originally, which was from the handwritten colorful boxes sticker book. I really only picked that book up because I needed more colorful boxes and I had a coupon back in December for Michael's. I really hate that there are headers on all of the boxes, but I did need more variety of just plain colorful boxes at the time. So I went ahead and picked it up and figured I could white out the headers as needed. So that's what I'll go ahead and do. I've got a few in there that I may use. It's really kind of hard to match up these softer colors, especially the blue, it seems, from the Happy Planner sticker options, but we'll see if we can make that work. I also felt like things were looking a little bit disjointed, so I decided to pull all of those strips of patterned stickers together and maybe make it into a clump, help make it feel a little more balanced. And then I have these little extra pieces that I cut off from the box stickers with that same pattern, so what I think I'm going to do is layer them with the coordinating box sticker and see if I can, again, spread that pattern around. Also kind of reiterate the color scheme all around the spread. And I felt like I needed to divide up the strip stickers that I had there. So what I decided to do was just cut it in half as it was, where it was kind of staggered. Give me a little bit of variation in lengths there so that it wouldn't look too boxy. And for now, putting those down at the bottom. I'm in the handwritten colorful boxes again, trying to find the blue. I didn't pull it because I didn't find it the first time, and I thought, well, maybe I could find something that would still work, maybe a little bit darker version. And I didn't see it in there, so I went into the Cocoa Daisy stickers that I had and just thought maybe I could find something in there. Earlier when I was flipping through this pressed floral sticker book, I saw this light blue box and kind of put it in the back of my mind that I might be able to use it. So I just went ahead and trimmed it down so it didn't have that monthly header thing going on and used that. And that was the perfect shade that I needed to match that blue. So that gives me 3 good quality options for those colorful boxes. I get to use those pattern backgrounds, and everything is starting to flow, I felt like, at this point. But things were a little bit bare. So what I decided to do was go into there and maybe pull in some quotes just to help give a little bit more life to the spread here. I wasn't wanting to add in the gold tones, but because the brown from the Pinwheel sticks is kind of a golden brown, I thought I could make it work with the gold foil, and then that gave me a lot more options from this pressed floral sticker book, because I also thought about bringing in some floral elements, which you'll see later. So I didn't like things being kind of separated and spread around, so what I think I'll do to make these quotes kind of be a little bit more incorporated is layer them with the patterned washi sticker strips. So what I'm doing is just using one of each color and then replacing that shade of sticker strip that I cut with a quote, and then that way each one will have the 3 colors, which is this light blue, kind of the coral orange, and the darker yellow, making each one a little cluster of the 3 colors based off of what I have available there and mixing up the quote colors. I'm also trying to balance out the layout a bit Again, doing that triangular relationship with everything, so everything kind of feels like it's not linear, but more in a triangular shape. And that's more for balance along the spread. I just always think like that. I know that certain spreads can get away with less of the balancing act that I like to do, but because I always think like that, I always think about balance, I'm always trying to keep the relationships going in a similar manner where everything's spread out or clumped together, but in 3s or 5s. So that's what I'm doing here on the spread as I'm laying things in. So like I said, now that I've incorporated that gold, I have a little bit more freedom to pull in some of these other florals from the Pressed Floral sticker book. I'm bringing in some D-headed flower stems that I had used from another spread. I just felt like they gave the right vibe for what I want to do here. Originally I was thinking to do actual pressed florals, but I didn't want to introduce more colors, and I thought that the golden florals really worked, or the golden, leaves and stems really worked well with this kind of feel, as you'll see. It comes together a little bit more in the end, but basically it just reminded me of like a field, maybe like a cornfield, or maybe even like a prairie field, if you will, with the pinwheels there, but more of like a late summer where everything's kind of already starting to turn brown and that kind of thing. That's what I went off of with the gold tones, and then thought I might be able to bring in some gold washi here at the bottom just to kind of complete maybe like a visual of grass at the bottom. I couldn't really find any other color that I thought worked, so we're going to try that, and then I'm going to bring in this cloud washi to give the impression of a nice blue sky. And this washi is just so versatile. I love this stuff. I've used it in a few spreads and I kind of hoard it a bit, so I'm trying to use it up. The last time I went to Daiso in my local area, they had more, so I picked up another one. So I feel a little bit freer to use it up, you know what I mean? Because I have another roll in the wings. But yeah, I just felt like this gave me like a Midwest vibe, and I was really happy with the feels of it with the clouds and the way that the gold kind of tied in the bottom half of it as well. So I think we're ready to move things over. I'm going to trim up some of these D-headed stems so they look a little more natural. And then the super tall pinwheel, I'm going to have to figure out how to make that work. We'll start with it so that I can really work the stem and make sure everything lines up properly. It's a little bit trickier than I had envisioned for lining things up in some cases, but I got it to work. This was a super fun one. I'm really excited to try something a little bit different with this week's theme. I haven't done windmills ever before, and of course, you guys know I do all my placement and everything so that I can still make use out of the spread. So you'll see a space for my checklist, and every day has a place for a functional, focus box or focus area. I'm always thinking about that. So even though in some ways it's kind of spread out and seems a little sparse, by the end of the week, I'm sure this thing will be filled up quite a bit. So I'm just dropping in things and doing some trimming here at the top as well. Trying to line things up. I'm going to drop this guy down a little bit so that it doesn't get too close to the little cluster of strip stickers there. And I'm still a little high, so let me pull this all down. It's a little easier for me to just trim it here on the page because I wasn't sure how far down to go, so I'll just do that, and that'll make it a little easier for me to lay these in. And we'll go ahead and move over some of the other ones. Again, gonna do some trim out so it looks a little cleaner. This is a spread, honestly, that I probably would never have thought to do without this plannable challenge. So it's really a good thing that we have these weekly challenges. Catherine over at Planogram over on Instagram, she is my partner in all of this, and she is usually the one who does all of the themes, or at least gives like a majority of the suggestions, and then I put in my 2 cents and sometimes give some ideas as well. But for the most part, she comes up with a lot of the fun ones. This one here, I think, was a dual effort pattern play. I really enjoy just seeing what comes out every week when you have this challenge of a theme to go off of and to try to make it work so you guys can get some inspiration for your own spreads. So really happy that we started that and that we're continuing to do it. It's just a fun way to bring some creativity to your planner. So I am whiting out behind a few of the items here, specifically like this washi tape, which is pretty transparent. And I'm really only whiting out the darker black lines that are there versus, you know, the lighter gray lines. I just kind of let those go. But the darker lines tend to really show much more through the background. So I do like to white those out. And I realized I probably should have whited out behind that side cloud there too, actually, that's coming in from the side. So maybe I'll do that off camera now that I see it. It's going to bother me now that I know it's there. And I just dropped in that last pinwheel, loving it. And we'll put in the washi at the bottom. So I have some ideas for some added texture on this spread. I thought it would be kind of cool to maybe do some motion feels, like maybe some like motion lines with the pinwheels, kind of in a little arc circle in between the fans of the pinwheels. Maybe in gold, or like a gold pen. What do you guys think about that? I did not do it before the video's over, but as I was doing all my prep work for the video, I thought about it and I was like, that would be pretty cool to add a little more texture in gold somehow. So let me know in the comments below if you think I should add some motion lines to the pinwheels, and or maybe even some added texture with maybe like a gold splatter or something like that if you think it needs it, or if you think we've got enough pattern going on with the spread once it's all done. I look forward to your comments on that. Sometimes I get overzealous because I want to just try different things. I'm interested to see if you guys think it needs it or if it could be improved with a little bit of extra something. Yeah, let me know in the comments. I always appreciate insight too. So if you guys see a spread and you're like, oh, you know, that would be really good with X, Y, or Z, I always love hearing that, and I think, you know, if I have the ability to do it, sometimes I can fit it in and make it work, and I will try. So I've laid in the washi at the bottom, and what you're not seeing me do right now is trim out some more of that same gold washi and kind of make it look like fringe bangs, if you will. That's the best way I could think of describing it, just kind of cutting it in little diagonal snippets so that it gave a little bit of a feel of grass. I'm just going to layer it right on top of the one that's already there so it looks more like a little patch or a little, like a, when you get grass and it gets kind of clumpy in certain areas and almost looks like a weed in the middle of the grass. That's what I was thinking. So I'm going to do that with a few of these washi strips and just kind of give a little bit more texture there at the bottom so it feels more organic. I got tiny pieces of washi tape all over the place. So it was definitely a battle, not only with the washi tape and doing all the cuts, but also with my fingers being covered in sticker and washi tape, as well as the scissors. So it takes a minute to do this little extraness, but I think it's worth it in the end. It just gives it that extra bit of texture. You guys know me and the textures, so I'm glad I did it in the end. I think it really added something to the spread. And yeah, some of those little pieces even got stuck on the back, so good times. Finally, what I'm going to do is drop in the checklists here, and I'm just using those three colors again, the yellow, blue, and almost like a orange coral tone, and putting in some bullets to end this spread. So like I said, let me know if you think it needs anything else, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye!